All right, so you guys have given us quite the list of movies to deep dive into.
10 Oscar winners.
10 Oscar winners.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to figure out what makes these films so special.
Yeah, it's a really good list.
It is.
I think covers lots of different genres.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we are going to be using Curiosity Human as our source.
Oh, excellent source.
Yeah, they have a great article all about it. So let's just jump right in.
Let's jump in.
The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
11 Oscars?
11 Oscars. That's incredible.
Yeah.
The article says that it's based on 2 books instead of just 1. Do you know why Tolkien split it that way?
Yeah, initially he wanted to write it as 1 book, but the story just grew so much that the publisher said it was too long, so they split it into 3. And then when they were adapting it for the film, The Return of the King, actually is a culmination of the last 2 books, The Two Towers and The Return of the King.
Wow, that's crazy.
Big story.
It's a very big story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's jump to a completely different genre.
Okay.
1959, Ben-Hur.
Oh, Ben-Hur.
Historical epic.
A classic, and the article points out it's actually a remake.
A remake.
Of a silent film from 1925, which is really interesting. You know, remakes aren't a new thing.
Yeah, no, they're not.
And that 1925 version was a landmark achievement in cinema. It was like pushing boundaries, you know, without even talking.
Right, and then they remade it in 59 with all the pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, even bigger and better.
Exactly.
Huge.
And speaking of big, Titanic.
Yeah.
James Cameron, cultural phenomenon.
Absolutely. It took the world by storm, but there was a lot of debate, too.
Really?
You know, about the historical accuracy.
Oh, right.
Because James Cameron did, you know, use some creative license, let's just say.
That's so interesting. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that even when you base a film on real events, you often have to blend fact and fiction.
You do, to make it good cinema, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, well, The Godfather Part 2.
Ooh, the sequel that's considered better than the original?
Yeah. So what makes this one so special?
Well, it's the storytelling. It's really unique. It's both a sequel and a prequel.
What? How does that work?
It tells the story of Vito Corleone's past, you know, with Robert De Niro, and at the same time, it's following Michael's rise to power, played by Al Pacino.
So you're seeing both timelines.
Exactly. It's like 2 stories in one. It's really cleverly done. It lets you see how power and corruption run in the family.
That's amazing. I might have to rewatch that one.
It's worth it.
Okay, well, let's move from the gritty world of the mafia to something a little lighter, Chicago.
Ah, Chicago. No, that's a visual feast. It's all jazz and show business in the roaring 20s. And the way they blend those musical numbers with the courtroom drama, it's captivating.
Yeah, and the cast is incredible. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Renee Zellweger.
And Richard Gere.
Oh, yeah, can't forget Richard Gere.
Yeah, they're all fantastic.
All fantastic. All right, well, let's go to a film that dives into something much darker. The Silence of the Lambs, a film that I think continues to haunt people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a psychological thriller, and it gave us Hannibal Lecter.
Yes.
Played by Anthony Hopkins.
Brilliant, chilling performance.
Oh, absolutely chilling.
But it's not all just shock value. It really makes you think.
Oh, for sure. It gets into the minds of the characters, you know, both the killer and the people trying to catch him.
And Jodie Foster, you know, playing that young FBI trainee, she's fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. She's brilliant in it.
All right, well, speaking of keeping audiences on the edge of their seat, Jaws.
Jaws, the film that made everyone afraid to go in the water.
I still think about that film when I go to the beach.
It's a classic.
It is a classic.
And it's really all about building suspense. You know, Spielberg is a master at that. He doesn't even show the shark for a long time.
That's true, yeah.
And that just lets your imagination run wild, which makes it even scarier.
Oh, yeah. And then the music.
Oh, John Williams.
Iconic score.
Ah, so good. It's like you hear those 2 notes and, you know.
You know what's coming.
Exactly. It's brilliant.
I mean, that film really changed the way we think about summer blockbusters.
Oh, absolutely. It was the first of its kind.
And you know what? Before we get to our next film, I just want to remind all of our listeners that if you love movies, you should check out the Aftab Ashraf YouTube channel. You can get all the latest movie news, showbiz gossip, reviews, and more.
It's a great channel.
It is a great channel, so be sure to subscribe.
All right, so back to our list.
Let's talk about The Departed.
Oh, The Departed, a modern crime thriller.
Yeah, with an amazing cast.
Amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson.
I mean, come on.
All at their best.
Yeah, and it's, you know, so intense you're never really sure who to trust.
That's Martin Scorsese for you.
Exactly.
It's gritty, it's full of twists and turns, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's move from modern crime to a classic from Hollywood's golden age.
Right.
All About Eve.
All About Eve. It's a fascinating look at the world of theater.
It is. And Bette Davis, she's just incredible in it.
Oh, iconic.
Iconic, absolutely. And it's so witty, and it's all about ambition and betrayal and what people will do for fame.
Yeah, it's just as relevant today as it was back then, you know?
So true. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from fantasy to crime thrillers to historical epics. What do you think the common thread is between all of these films?
I think it's their ability to connect with us on a human level.
Yes.
They tell stories that resonate with everyone, regardless of what genre they are.
That's true.
About ambition, betrayal, love, loss, things we all experience.
Exactly. These are universal themes, and I think that's what makes them so powerful.
Absolutely.
So that brings us to an even bigger question. What sets these films apart? Beyond just winning Oscars, I mean, what makes them truly great?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what makes them stand out in the history of cinema?
I think it's the way they make us feel, They transport us.
Just different worlds.
Yeah, different worlds, and introduce us to these unforgettable characters. And like you said, you really feel it.
You really feel it.
And it sticks with you.
It sticks with you long after the credits roll.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they each do it in their own way.
Yeah.
Some with spectacle, some with, character development, some make you think, but
Yeah, but they all grab you.
they grab you.
And they get people talking, even today, people are still talking about these films.
Yeah, they spark debates and they influence the way we see things.
Absolutely, and it's more than just the awards and technical stuff. It's the stories and how they make you feel,
Yeah, it's the emotional connection.
Yeah, and they make you think
They make you think
about the world.
about the world. That's true.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, out of these 10, which one do you find the most compelling?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
The tough one, right?
They're also good. But I think I'd have to go with The Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, it's so disturbing, but it's also so fascinating. Like the way it explores the dark side of human nature. It's
chilling.
It's chilling, yeah.
Yeah, I can see why you'd pick that one. It definitely stays with you.
It does.
For me, I think I go with The Godfather Part 2.
Oh, good choice.
I love how it blends the family drama with the crime epic. And then it also kind of gives you a historical perspective.
Yeah, and the way it goes back and forth between the past and the present, it's masterful.
It's really well done.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching more than once.
It is.
You pick up on new things every time.
Absolutely. So I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Out of these 10 films, which one do you think has had the most lasting impact, culturally?
Ooh. Another tough one. Jaws definitely changed things. It invented the summer blockbuster, right?
That's true.
And it changed the way we see sharks and going to the beach.
It did. It really did.
I think the Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King has had a huge impact too.
Oh, yeah.
The whole trilogy, but that film especially, it really redefined what fantasy films could be,
The visuals, the story, everything was just
Epic.
And it brought Tolkien to a whole new audience.
Yeah, for sure. People are still obsessed with Lord of the Rings.
They are.
It's become like a cultural phenomenon.
It really has. It's amazing to think about the impact these films have had, not just on movies, but on everything.
Yeah, it's true. Movies have this power to change how we see the world,
I think that's why we love them so much.
Definitely.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground, learned a lot, and hopefully sparked some new ideas for our listeners.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been great talking about these films with you.
Absolutely. And a huge thanks to our listeners for suggesting these films.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive and maybe learned something new along the way.
And keep watching those movies.
Yeah, it's really amazing how these films kind of transcend their time.
It's true. You watch them today and they're just as powerful and relevant.
Absolutely. And they stay with you. You think about them long after you've seen them.
Yeah, they make you think, they make you feel, they make you question things.
They do. They really do. And I think that's a mark of a truly great film.
Absolutely. And I think these 10 films are perfect examples of that.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into these Oscar winners,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with one final question.
Okay, I like it.
Out of these 10 films, which one resonated with you the most?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah. Which one has left a lasting impression on your own, cinematic journey?
That's something for everyone to think about.
Yeah. We encourage you to go back, watch these films, and really consider what they mean to you.
Yeah, and how they've maybe shaped your own view of the world.
And, if you're looking for more deep dives into the world of film and entertainment,
And you want to keep up with all the latest movie news and gossip,
be sure to subscribe to the Aftab Ashraf YouTube channel.
You'll find everything you need there.
All the reviews, behind-the-scenes stuff, all the latest buzz.
It's your one-stop shop for all things movies.
So, until our next deep dive,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep watching, and keep those conversations going.
Absolutely. Happy viewing, everyone.